Welcome to this edition of SAU Weekly, your source for the latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University. I'm Sydney Horseman.
And I'm Grant Ward.
In one of the busiest areas on campus, librarians have become familiar faces to students moving in and out of the library. Now, as one of those familiar faces prepares to retire, SAU Weekly's Ellie Seeberger looks back on the lasting impact of a beloved Ambrosian.
For more than 3 decades, warm welcomes, conversation, and support has been provided to SAU students by longtime librarian Stella Herzig. This week, that chapter is coming to a close as Stella is preparing to retire. In her time here, she has found the library to be more than just a resource for students, but a home and a family.
I've had so many encounters with students here, and I like the personal nature of librarianship. It's not a money exchange. It's not a transaction. It's a sharing of knowledge. The students have as much knowledge. They come with as much knowledge, and we can share so that they can meet their needs. And to me, that is just, to be able to do that in a world of books is like a dream.
A more recent legacy for Stella has been information literacy. Through hands-on lessons, she has been teaching students to think critically, question online information, and evaluate sources.
When I first stepped into class on day one, Stella sought me out and she talked to me, she asked me who I was. She helped tailor the course for me. So while all the freshmen are doing certain assignments, she had me do certain other things to help not only with my major, but also because of the year and advancement that I'm in college. So that was a huge blessing, and it instantly just made me realize that not only is she an amazing resource, but she's also an amazing person that cares about us as students, and really felt like she cared about me as a person.
Stella is looking forward to the rest of her story being full of adventure.
We have some travel plans coming up. We're going on an off-road adventure to Mongolia, and we're going to explore Peru, and spend some more time with family around the country.
Thank you, Stella, for your years of service and the legacy of learning you leave behind. With SAU TV,
it's a new chapter in my book.
I'm Ellie Seeberger.
Thanks, Ellie, and thank you, Stella, for your years of service at SAU. This Sunday marks the Feast of St. Ambrose, honoring the university's patron saint. In this week's What's the Buzz, SAU Weekly's Grant Ward highlights how the campus is celebrating this weekend.
Thanks, Sydney. Joining me now is SAU's Director of Campus Ministry, Tammy Norcross-Reitzler. Thanks for being here, Tammy.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. So tell us, what is some of the history behind the Feast of St. Ambrose?
Well, according to Father George McDaniel, our campus historian, he shared with me that we first celebrated the feast day in 1894, and mostly that day just happened to be like the president canceled classes for the day and students just had a fun day. But then the next year, the feast became a little more formalized. And so a lot of times through the years, it's included Mass or Vespers, some kind of prayer service, usually music, because St. Ambrose composed lots of music for the church, and so either a band or orchestra would play, or one of our choirs would sing. So usually music was a big part of it. And then a lot of years too, there would be a speaker that would come to campus and share some insights or stories about our feast, or about our saint, about St. Ambrose of Milan. So I've been here, this is my 12th year, and through the years it's kind of, changed off and on a little bit through the years, but mostly the consistent thing I think is Mass. We've always kind of celebrated that feast day with Mass.
Well, it's interesting that you bring all of that up, because Dr. Amy Novak brings up how the Feast of St. Ambrose is really a time for reflection. And I feel like going off of the ideas of, the whole feast, the concerts, the Mass, it really works into that reflection time. How do you feel like that really factors into the story of St. Ambrose himself and the story of the university?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, St. Ambrose, the person, was known for his writings in the church. And so there's a lot for us to reflect on from his writings. And, you know, since Dr. Novak has been here, we've spent, I think, more time kind of reflecting on what that means for our campus. And so we came up with those core values of service, justice, courage, and wisdom, and now added mercy. And all of those are values that are reflected in St. Ambrose's own writings for the church. So one of the things we did this year that's new is that we've spent the last few weeks, every week, highlighting a different value. And we asked students or alumni to reflect on that value and how they kind of exemplify that in their lives, and how their Ambrose education, you know, has kind of been a good way to grow in that value. And then we also recognize some clubs and organizations that are living out those values in their activities. So we kind of tied that all together throughout these last few weeks leading up to the feast day celebration.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's clear that there's some type of evolution going on then throughout the years. So let's go back to, you know, you've been here for 12 years now. How exactly has that feast evolved since your time here?
Well, the feast day is December 7th, so sometimes that doesn't always fall on the most convenient time in our calendar, in our school year. You know, sometimes it's the middle of the week, it could be during finals week or whatever. So that has been part of it, is like some days, some years we've celebrated the feast on the closest Sunday. In recent years, we tried doing it on the actual feast day, so it might have been like on a Thursday or a Friday. We didn't get as much attendance on those weekdays, so this year we were excited because the feast day itself actually is Sunday, and so we get to celebrate it again on Sunday. So I think that has probably been the biggest thing, is just kind of playing around with when we actually celebrate the feast day. It's interesting, feast days are appointed by the church, so we don't get a say when it is. Like, you know, it would be more convenient to have it a different month even, right? But December 7th is the day that St. Ambrose was ordained bishop of Milan, so that's the day that we celebrate his feast day in the church.
Yeah, I mean, it really works out this year. Having it on that Sunday is probably the best thing that really could happen. And, you know, looking at that overall, there's not only events scheduled for Sunday, but there's events scheduled throughout the entire 3-day weekend. So
yes.
Can you talk us through some of those events that we can expect?
So that's also part of the new initiative this year, is to kind of expand it and help to connect it all together so students see it as kind of one big weekend of celebration. So Friday night, the CAB, I believe, is the organization that's organizing the trivia night, and so they're including questions about St. Ambrose, I think the Saint and the university, and so that's Friday. Saturday is the Ambrosian Christmas concert, which is a beautiful music, you know, again appropriate because Ambrosian himself was a musician. And then, of course, Sunday will be our Mass. We'll have some donuts after Mass as well. And then Monday, Dr. Novak and her husband, Ken, will be hosting the soup and bread luncheon that they've been doing for the last few years. So it kind of, it gives us a whole weekend of ways to celebrate.
Definitely, and I feel like, you know, it's very good leading up into finals week. We have this little celebration going on, this time for reflection, you know?
Yeah.
So then, what do you hope to accomplish with this year's Feast of St. Ambrose moving forward?
I just, like you said, I think it's a great time to reflect on you know, our namesake and all that he stood for. Ambrose, you know, was very much about education, about doing good in the world and making a difference. And so I think those values we live out so much as Ambrosians that it's nice to be able to celebrate that and like you said, reflect on it. We do have a special guest for our Mass. So we have a student who is going to impersonate St. Ambrose of Milan and make a guest appearance at the end of the Mass. So I'm excited about that. He'll share a monologue in some of the words that Ambrose actually wrote himself.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait for all of the feast festivities. And thank you so much for being here, Tammy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Back to you, Sydney.
Thanks, Grant. Coming up next in sports, on your mark. The SAU Track and Field team gets set to bring the intensity on the indoor track. Join SAU Weekly's Ross Willerth as he takes you inside SAU athletics. Stay tuned.
Visit Ragged Records, one of the largest record stores in the Midwest. Browse more than 30,000 new and used records, from timeless classics to new releases, and rare finds in every aisle. New to collecting vinyl? Check out our large selection of stereo equipment to spruce up your listening experience. Find your group at Ragged Records, located along Motor Row in Davenport, and in Rock Island next to Roz Talks.
Capture a piece of the past with Trash Can Annie, where vintage meets vibrant in every stitch. Browse our carefully curated collection of clothing and accessories, ranging from the late 1800s to current styles. Dress to impress with Laura's unique style and wardrobe consultations. Find a style and make it yours with Trash Can Annie, your destination for timeless fashion.
Whether you're a competitive runner, looking to stay fit, or just looking for comfort and support, Running Wild has you covered. Locally owned for more than 3 decades, Running Wild is the Quad City's trusted source for athletic wear and accessories. No matter your experience level, we'll help you find the right fit with all the top brands for running and walking and the latest in running apparel. Open 7 days a week, just up Brady Street. Don't walk, run to Running Wild, your run specialty store.
Tune in to KALA and hear something different. Programming that celebrates the diversity of our listeners. We're advocates for the arts, showcasing your favorite music from around the world. We're storytellers, producing award-winning news and educational podcasts. We're dedicated sports fans, bringing you the latest Fighting Bee action from St. Ambrose University. We're a learning lab, mentoring the next generation of broadcasters and content creators. A part of your community for 5 decades. We're KALA Radio, 88.5 FM and 106.1 FM. Turn it on and turn it up. Ready the studio in 3, 2.
Welcome to this edition of SAU Weekly, your source for the latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University.
We begin with breaking news after a vehicle crashed into a non-residential campus building overnight.
We should always have places to promote inclusivity on and off campus.
You guys got the opportunity to scrimmage against 3 Division I basketball teams. How did your team benefit from that later on in the season?
Well, I think it's just a great experience for our players.
Being able to run and be around the people that I enjoy gives me a reason to be passionate about running.
Welcome to Stingers, discussions with SAU Bees over everyone's favorite drinks.
What happens to you though, seriously, if you drink the whole cup?
You get all your papers done. And
yeah, right.
Ahead of another exciting season, the SAU Dance Team hosted their annual stage dress rehearsal in Leloman Arena this past Sunday. The dance team hit the floor for the first time this season as they prepare for an exciting week in Des Moines. A total of 25 teams took the floor, packing the afternoon with non-stop performances. The event invited all the local Davenport high schools, giving each team a chance to perform their jazz, hip-hop, and palm routines one last time before the upcoming Iowa State competition.
Today we have our state showcase for our teams and also teams around the high school. around the Davenport High School area to come and perform and showcase all of their routines before state. So this showcase that we do for our team specifically helps us to just be ready for our NAIA season. It's kind of like our auditions to be on the floor for our 3-in-1 routine that will start in January and compete all the way through April. So we use this as an opportunity to compete a jazz, hip hop, and pom routine, and we go and take it to the state competition in Des Moines.
Today helps us prepare for state because this really is our first time going out there as a team. We've done a couple football games together, but this is our first time in front of a large crowd, really cheering each other on and getting all those first performance jitters out. But we are always trying to recruit more dancers. This is just another opportunity to put our best foot forward out on that floor, and hopefully other people will see us and want to come dance with us next year.
The dance team competed in Des Moines yesterday and not only won all 3 state titles, but also won Judge's Choice for pom and were awarded free costumes for next year. Congratulations, ladies. As they reach the midpoint of their season, the men's wrestling team has faced off against some of their toughest opponents. But following the departure of some key seniors last season, many new faces have stepped up. So far, the Bees have a record of 3-1 on the season and multiple top place finishes. At the Co-College Invite, the Bees were led by Jean-Luc Guerra, who went 3-2 in the 184-pound bracket and would end up 4th overall. Both Georgino Moraga and Brody Schmidt placed 5th in their own brackets to help secure more points for the Bees. St. Ambrose showed its depth, with many more wrestlers hitting the mats to give their team points.
I had a couple bad matches. I had some matches early on that I won that I don't think I wrestled too well in. I had some matches I lost that I didn't think I wrestled too well in. And so, I think the next time we go out there is really going to test, how I can bounce back from that. This next week of practice, I'm going to see how I can take those losses and how I can learn from them and improve.
Score points, have fun, control what you can control, which is your energy, your effort, and your preparation, right? So just do those 3 things, have fun. And everything else will take care of itself. We're not focused on outcomes. We're focused on effort and performance, and winning will take care of itself if you can do those 2 things, right? You go out and try to score as many points as you possibly can, and at the end of the day, if you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. But we're only focused on having fun and scoring points.
Next up for the Bees will be the Connor Oppenheim Doane Open at Doane University in Crate, Nebraska on December 6th. You can also catch the Bees at home for the Hart Conference Duels on Saturday, December 13th. The St. Ambrose Fighting Bees track and field team is preparing for their first meet of the season this Saturday. For more, here's SAU Weekly's Dominic Neely.
For St. Ambrose's track and field squad, the long wait is finally over. The first meet of the indoor season has arrived.
I'm very excited. I think we're the most balanced that we've ever been across the board. Every event's covered, so there's no really any weak spots in terms of conference. I think we have a national caliber team that we should place the highest we've done in the past couple years. So overall, I think we'll come in full steam first meet of the year.
Even with it being the first meet, the Bees are holding themselves to a high standard to start the season off on the right foot.
Very confident. We got a really good squad. We're looking to win conference this year. Good hopes. Good teams. Hopefully get some qualifications, some standards hit. This first meet coming in, PRs. There's a good opener.
With a mix of fresh talent and seasoned veterans, the Bees know one thing for sure. Having each other's backs is what defines the squad.
I think everyone's really excited. Everyone, especially like the freshmen, are a little nervous because it's first college meet, but everyone's pretty excited about it.
Though track and field can feel like a one-person stage, the team's sense of togetherness unites them.
Honestly, it doesn't even feel like there's any classes. It just feels like we're one team together. Like there's no difference between a senior on the team or a freshman. We've all just come closer and became one family.
For some of the senior Bees, this is the start of their final season, and they are preparing to go out on top.
I know a lot of the cross-country guys have been working really hard, getting stuff done. And we just came off of a great cross-country season, and I know all the sprinters have been working hard. And yeah, I mean, we've been working for a really long time, and for some of us, it's our last go-around, so it's time to make something happen.
With SAU Weekly, I'm Dominic Neely.
Thanks, Dom. The St. Ambrose women's basketball team traveled to Waldorf on Wednesday night. The Bees started strong, jumping out to a 9-0 lead because of early scoring from Abby Walter, Peyton Calouette, and Jayla Sturgis. But SAU struggled offensively the rest of the way. Managing just 30 points over the final 3 quarters, Walter led the Bees with 19 points and 12 rebounds. Olivia Harder added 6 off the bench, and Calouette, Sturgis, and Isabella Hutchinson combined for 10 more. The Bees fell 67-39, moving them to 4-5 overall. The Fighting Bees will now travel to Milwaukee to take on Mount Marty Saturday at 2 p.m. You can also catch the men's basketball team at home tomorrow at 3 p.m. as they hit the court with Indiana South Bend. And that'll do it for this Inside SAU Athletics. I'm Ross Willard.
And that's all we have for you on this edition of SAU Weekly. We'll be back next semester with all the latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University.
Remember to check out the SAU TV Facebook and Instagram pages for our newscasts, top stories, and more. You can also find them on The Hive at sauthehive.com.
While campus is covered in more than 10 inches of snow, we asked you this week's campus question, snow or no? Thanks for watching.
I love the snow so much!
I like snow because you can sled in it, you can play in it, snowball fights are so much fun.
Yeah, I like the snow because it's already cold outside, so why not have it?
Snow!
I hate the snow here. Look at this. I'm freezing. I'm wearing the wrong coat. No.
No snow.
I love the snow because we all know magical things happen anytime it's snowing.
All right, so snow driving around is not that much fun, but I'm from the mountains from Colorado, so having snow to be able to snowboard is always a plus. I will always take that. It's one of the main reasons I love Colorado, and so yeah, I'm gonna go for snow.
I do not like the snow, but one thing that I do like is the Chicago Bears. Bear down.